Hello, this is Michelle with Moksha Grace Coaching. Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for being here today for a moment of presence. Glad that you are here. Glad that you could join me. I hope you got to see last week's live. It was on the beach in Isla Morada. So that was a lot of fun, and thanks for being there with me. For those of you who don't know, I'm Michelle. I am a life coach, emotional alchemist. My passion is helping clients free themselves from emotional manipulation, which is what we're going to talk about today, so that they can live a life free from turmoil and hardships and find that internal emotional harmony. I like to call it calming the chaos of now, because to me, that's what it feels like when, you're in that emotional turmoil. Things are just flying out of control. In the old days, Calgon, take me away. And it's about bringing it in and just calming. And today we're going to dive into emotional manipulation. And it's probably going to surprise you about what we're really going to talk about today. But before we get started, I definitely want us to have our moment of presence. So get comfy. And if you're not driving and you're in some place safe where you can sit up straight, let's come into the moment and let's be here together. Okay, so close your eyes if you can. Take that deep breath. Hold it for 3 seconds. And then exhale. One more time. Big deep breath in. Hold it. Think of everything you want to let go of. And then big exhale. Good. So we are going to be here together for the next 30 or so minutes, maybe a little bit longer for today's conversation. I definitely would love to see some engagement. It's definitely interactive. I may ask you a couple of questions, so feel free to post in the comments. And let's really have a good chat, all right? So again, emotional manipulation, and it may not be what you're thinking as far as today's talk, because I'm not talking about the emotional manipulation from others. I'm actually talking about from yourself, from your emotions, from deep inside, the emotions that overtake you at times. Start running the show, including making decisions, causing you to react. Those knee-jerk reactions when something happens, it triggers you, and you have a knee-jerk reaction and you wish you could take it back, whether it was something that you said, you lost your temper, sometimes things get broken, all kinds of things can happen, but it makes you just feel like, excuse my language, crap, right? Sometimes we wake up and we're sad and full of dread and grumpy, and then what happens? Don't talk to me before I've had my coffee. Or, you just wake up because you really hate the mornings. The questions are why, right? And why are you allowing outside circumstances, situations, people to change how you feel internally? So today we're going to have that conversation, and I'm going to share a quick technique, just a small example. So when this happens, you can start learning how to control your emotions, okay, and how you respond to the situation, which is a heck of a lot better than emotions controlling and manipulating you, right? Because that's just not good. So in the post, I asked a few questions. Did any of them elicit a reaction in you? Did you feel a twinge, a pang? Did your stomach turn? And just let me know in the comments. Just post something in the comments and let me know. You know, Eleanor Roosevelt said, no one can make you feel inferior. And I'm going to add to that no one should be able to make you feel bad. You allow it to happen. And there's no blame or shame here, right? It's just something that we've been conditioned to do. We become dependent on other people to make us feel happy. We become dependent on people when they show up in our energy field, so to speak, and they come in with a bad mood. How many times has that bad mood become really contagious? So what we want to do is we want to take back that control. We want to make sure that we're in control of our emotions, not other people and not external circumstances. When this happens, then you can calm that chaos. Then you can have the internal harmony, which is what we're looking for. I had a client one time that would do everything that they were supposed to do in the mornings. Meditate, journal, be in gratitude, and they'd show up. And if their boss was in a bad mood, guess what happened? It tanked their mood. And then they blamed their boss for tanking their mood. And the question that I would ask is, why? Why are you changing yourself to meet that person's mood? Now, obviously, if we're with somebody and they're in a bad mood or they're sad, if we walk in and we're super energetic and high vibing and we're happy, we're not meeting them where they are. But meeting somebody where they are and being empathetic is very different than absorbing those emotions, those feelings, and allowing them to infiltrate your emotions, your feelings, and your energy. So your emotions arise from different places within your being. It can be your ego, it can be past experiences, it can be thoughts about the future, worrying, it can be judgments, beliefs. And here's the biggest. They're either going to be from two places, a place from love or a place from fear. And when you can identify that, then you can start processing it. So it's not as complicated as it seems or it sounds. It can be scary, but it doesn't have to be. As long as you stay in the moment, right here, right now, being. Because you're not in the past. And if something happened to you in the past, that doesn't mean that it has to happen now. Or that it has to make you feel a certain way now. It's, again, from your past. And if you're concerned with something in your future, oh my gosh, if I don't get this project done, and what if I get fired? Well, now you're worrying about the future. And it's stealing the moment away from you. It's stealing who you are right now. And it's creating all of this turmoil and chaos that you don't need. How many times during a 24-hour period do you feel blindsided by someone or something that is done or happens? How many times has that happened? And feeling blindsided is just, it's not fun. It used to happen to me all the time. So if you're tired of just emotionally dangling out there, waiting to see what causes the next emotional spike, high or low, if you're ready to take control and start determining how you want to feel throughout your day, then you're going to find this technique really helpful. So over the last 4 years, I have been working, and probably a heck of a lot longer, but really formally working on myself, on emotional intelligence, on emotional alchemy, on shadow work. There's a lot of methods out there. There's a lot of techniques. There's a lot of books to read. And yeah, you can do it yourself. But you're going to have tons of shelves full of books. You're going to have a YouTube video, library that is pretty extensive. And the thing is that when it gets uncomfortable, when we hit something, a wall, and we all have them, when you hit those walls, we tend to back away. We tend to kind of shiny object syndrome and move towards something else that feels better. But guess what? The triggers, the emotional baggage, all that stuff, we're now bringing with us no matter what. How many times have you changed a job because your boss was a bully, or it just wasn't the right place for you? They weren't listening. They didn't understand you. Well, if you left and didn't figure out what was going on inside of you that you felt that way, again, no shame, no blame, you now carried it with you into the next position. And guess what? That's when patterns happen. So this is all about completely taking apart those patterns, those old beliefs, picking them out, fine-tooth comb, just taking them all out and really helping you figure out what to do next. So something works for everybody. Not the same thing works for everybody, but there's something that works for everybody. And it's a process. And it's not something that you can do overnight, and it's not a one and done. It is a journey. And like the onion, I know, cheesy, but like the onion, you got to peel back the layers. Now, with certain processes, we peel bigger layers, or we can even peel multiple layers at the same time, and that makes it go faster. But having accountability, having a sounding board, and a guided process makes all the difference. Oh, and a lot of practice. It makes perfect. But there's no right or there's no wrong. So let's try something together. So get comfortable. And don't worry, I live by the Girl Scout rule. I'm going to leave you better than I found you today. Okay? So it may feel uncomfortable in the beginning, but I promise you we're going to feel really good by the time we're done. So deep breath. I want you to imagine that you're in a bubble. Just a bubble. It can be a bubble of light. It can be a bubble that floats. It can be a bubblegum bubble. You're in a bubble. Nothing can touch you, and you are safe, and you can't be affected. And I want you to think of a time when you were going about your day and something happened and you were furious, like Fast and the Furious, right? You went from 0 to 60, 0 to 100. You felt out of control, mad as hell. You said things you didn't really want to say. You wish you hadn't said. And you can't take it back. And you can go ahead and let the memory come up. You can watch, right? Just watch as you're watching like TV. See how you reacted. Again, no blame, no shame. We're not judging, just watching. And I want you to ask yourself, why? Why did I react that way? And let the answer come in. Let it bubble up. And now that you have that answer, now I want you to ask again, why it bothered you so much? And let that answer come in. Now here's the interesting piece. I want you to ask Ask yourself, and it's going to be a doozy. Is it true of you right now? Is it true? Whatever bothered you, whatever you believed, was it the absolute truth of who you are deep inside? And then I want you to ask, is it from love or is it from fear? Now, big deep breath. Pop your bubble. Pop. Great work. Take a moment, and I want you to jot down anything that came up, anything that surprised you. And you can comment as well if you want to share. Yes, bosses can do that. All right. Now, let's flip. Let's flip it to a good memory. So, close your eyes again. Same idea. You're in a bubble. You can make it a different color bubble if you want. And you're watching a scene. You're bringing up a time, a scene in your life where you felt so happy, calm, relaxed. Maybe you felt successful. And bring that up. Kind of look around. What was happening? Who were you with? Really feel like you're right there in that moment. And allow all those thoughts, those feelings to come up. Now I want you to ask yourself a couple different questions. Why were you feeling good? Why were you feeling so happy or calm or successful? What was different about that moment? Are you feeling from a place of fear or a place of love? And what else do you notice about this memory? This time I want you to take a deep breath, and I want you to imagine all of these good feelings coming up and in. Just breathe them in, hold them, and then I want you to imagine them sinking right down into your heart and just settling there. Another deep breath in. Exhale. And I want you to write down anything that came up, anything that you absolutely want to remember. And again, if you want to share anything, I would love to hear any of your thoughts about this. Now, in these two exercises, who was in control? Who was in control of how you were feeling now, right now, where you are? And who had the power to change your feelings, change those emotions, and make you feel a certain way? Wasn't me. So the next time you're triggered, next time someone upsets you, you have some questions to ask yourself. I'll kind of go slow so you can write them down if you want. Where is this coming from? Is it the past or is it the future? Is it based in love or is it based in fear? Examples. Let me give you examples. Your partner is mad at you because you were late and you didn't call. And you're upset. They're upset. Do you think this is coming from a place of fear or love? Maybe both. But on your end. And when you dive really deep and you ask yourself why, and keep going down and deeper, I would bet you're going to come to fear of being micromanaged, fear of being told what to do, right? You yell at your kid for not doing their chores, or for, here's a good one, for, doing something dangerous, right? I was going to say sticking something in an electric outlet. You might lose it and you might react, but is it coming from a place of fear or love? Again, it might be both, but definitely fear. Why? Because you don't want to lose that person. Same thing with the partner scenario. You may not want to lose that person. So these are kind of easier ones, if you will. But again, the deeper you go, you get down into the layers. A lot of people stay very superficial. They get to the first layer and they think they're done. And then it comes up again. And then it comes up again. By working with somebody that's going to guide you and help you, you're going to take away the power of these triggers. You're going to dive deep and figure out where it's coming from. And you're going to be able to respond from a place of love. And that's the key to all of it. So you have choices to make in these moments. After you ask the questions, you pause, you ask the questions. Now you can decide your choice. You're in control. Are you going to continue in the mood that you reacted in? Or that somebody's kind of putting on you? Or you realize where it's coming from and you ask yourself if it's true. And you take a couple deep breaths. And then you do something that puts you in a better mood. The important thing is that you address the real issue. But the only way to address the real issue is you got to dive deep. You got to dive deep. You got to take a breath. You got to pause. You got to mull it over and you got to respond. And you may not be able to process all of it in that moment, right in that moment at that time. But you got to make an effort to do it at some point, because the longer you put it off, the more it's going to keep coming up. And when you respond from a place of love, and you don't have to love the other person, but you can love yourself. You can love the life you're building. You can love what you want to work towards. But if you're in the moment, and you're in the moment from a place of love, you cannot go wrong. It will always steer you in the right direction. You may not think it's the right direction. Something else that we talk about a lot when we work together. So it's a very small example of what I do over a 3-month period with my clients. There's many layers. We find the triggers. We answer a lot of questions, and the emotional swings, they're less turbulent. They're not as far apart, and they're not as high and heavy, and you don't swing so high. And it starts coming closer and closer to being center. And what feels chaotic now becomes calm. And you're able to keep your calm no matter what's happening around you, even if the chaos is swirling around you. But we will cover those layers. and we will get you in control of your emotions and your life. So if I've sparked your curiosity, if you want to learn more on how I can help you, you can book your complimentary discovery call at mokshagrace.com. Just pick a time, a day that works best for you. And if you're curious, more curious about me and what I do, the other topics I cover, just visit the website, mokshagrace.com. And check me out on all the social media sites. Don't forget that, Moksha Grace Coaching. Don't forget to like the videos. It's a big deal. YouTube likes when we like videos, because then, you know, there's things that I'm able to do. Definitely want to be able to come to you and bring you more content, more helpful techniques that will help you. And mark your calendar. September 12th, there's going to be something pretty cool that I'm going to be doing, and I'll give you more details about that by the time the weekend's over. But I'm really looking forward to seeing you. Thanks for being here again. And I look forward to meeting you, talking to you, hearing how all of this went for you. So make sure that you let me know. All right? Have a wonderful day, and be present. Be in the moment. Talk soon. Bye-bye.